Have you ever wondered what it takes to capture award-winning iconic images? I'm going to share over 30 years of my professional underwater and adventure photography experience and share stories of how I capture photos and video in the most challenging environments. Welcome to the story behind the shot. I'm Jill Heinerth, and this is the story behind the shot. The Bianca C was built during World War II in France and launched in June 1944. The ship was scuttled by Germans in August. The hull was raised and remodeled in June 1949. On Sunday, October 22, 1961, an explosion occurred in the engine room when the ship was anchored off Grenada in the Caribbean. As fires broke out, approximately 700 passengers and crew scrambled to abandon the ship. One crewman died immediately and 8 others were injured. The ship burned for 2 days, awaiting a fireboat, and many were worried that it would sink and block the main harbor. A brave team boarded the burning ship to attach a towline, and as she was sinking, she was dragged offshore, with the anchors still sitting in the entrance of the harbor. As she listed, a squall moved in. The towline broke, and she sank in 165 feet of water, just 5 kilometers from where she caught fire. I visited the Bianca C on a press trip to Grenada. I was diving recreationally on the tour, but to dive the deeper wreck, I was going to need to get some technical diving gear, 2 tanks and a decompression bottle with oxygen. It's unusual for a diver to rent a full technical diving package, but it was worth it for the chance to see the large ship. To dive the Bianca C, the dive plan requires that you jump in and use the current to push you along the hull, surfacing on the far end of the ship. Before my dive, I checked my scuba gear and everything seemed to be in order. A young dive master offered to carry my twin set from the shop to the boat. It was his first day and he was eager to help out, and I wasn't going to ignore an offer of assistance and thanked him. Right before the dive, I checked my gear one last time, being extra paranoid since it wasn't my own. The water was clear and the wreck took shape as we descended to the depths. The current was swift and I started rolling off pictures as we drifted along. I noticed that I was using gas rather quickly, but maybe there were a few nerves from using borrowed gear. As we reached the far end of the ship, I knew there was no time to hang around anymore. I signaled to the rest of the team to begin our ascent. They looked surprised, since I rarely am the person to call the dive. When we reached the surface, I thought nothing of it, but topside, the dive master asked me why I had used up my gas so quickly. And that's when it hit me. I walked over to my twin set and checked the manifold, and there's a valve that isolates the 2 tanks from one to the other. It should be open, and I checked it twice to see that it was open. But as it turned out, the new employee, who had no experience with tech diving gear, had actually turned it off while I was standing on the swim platform jumping into the water. It was a lesson learned for him. It didn't shorten my dive. I just watched my gas and it just went faster. But I'd done the entire tech dive on what was essentially a single tank of gas. So I think I'll be a little more careful next time I check my tech diving gear, or I'll just go back to my rebreather, the gear that I normally use. I still had a great dive, and even though it was short, I still have this beautiful photo to remember the place. If you want to purchase a download of this image to print for yourself, or if you want to buy an art print or printed product, then please follow the links in the YouTube description. I truly appreciate your support for my creative work. And for more about what I do, check out my website, intotheplanet.com. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and click on the bell icon so that you can be notified when I upload videos including more episodes of this series, The Story Behind the Shot.